we all know, I don't care who you listen to, but every major media company has an agenda. Right? They don't just report the news. They have their spin on it, which goes towards their audience. But the anger this is creating right now in America is off the charts. It's incredible. I mean, I'm sure you're going to agree with me at this point. And yes, this is a rant. And yes, I'm going to curse a little bit. So if you want to fast forward through this part, feel free. But I ask you not to. We're going to get deep into this right now. You know as well as I do, there's lots of people are nice. I'm sure you'll agree. Most people out there are nice. They're cool. I don't see racism where I am. Does it exist? Yes, it exists. But people normally treat people good. If you remove that social media component. But seriously, most of us are nice out there, but the anger that we're seeing is insane. Where people that I personally know, you know, go to church twice a week. People I grew up with are posting things like Trump is an effing idiot. Pelosi is an old hag. Biden is a senile piece of shit. Somebody actually said that. They would never, ever say that in person. Never. These are such nice people. And I don't know what brings out that anger. But the anger we're seeing now, I don't think I can compare it to anything I've seen in my life. I mean, how did this all start, right, with George Floyd? And we all know the situation. We all agree with it. We understand the racial inequality. We want to bring more attention, peaceful protests. That was over a month ago. It's no longer about George Floyd. No way. It has nothing to do with that right now. What's going on? I mean, people ripping down statues of George Washington, Theodore Roosevelt, who invited civil rights leader Booker T. Washington, which is the first black person ever to dine at the White House. Ulysses Grant, who's a general who beat the Confederates and ended the Civil War before becoming our president. And that's a big difference from Jefferson Davis, Stonewall Jackson, but I'm condoning ripping down statues at all. But hey, who cares about the history of this country? Let's just erase everything. Doesn't matter anymore. In Seattle, we see people occupying Capitol Hill, which is called CHOP. It's all over the news, every single channel you watch. Capitol Hill Occupy Protest. That's what it stands for. Yeah, it's okay to protest peacefully. None of us have a problem with that. I get it. Shout, hold up signs. We get it. These guys shut down all the businesses in the area. They kicked the cops out. And what happened? Shootings in the area resulted in the death of a 19-year-old. A 17-year-old was shot and injured, as well as other shootings. And finally, the mayor's like, after saying, hey, these are great protests, everything's fine, don't worry about it, you took over this area. You took over an area in a city. Think about that. Just think about that for a minute, that we allowed that to happen. But now he's like, oh, well, we have to stop this. And of course, it takes someone to get shot, someone to get killed, more violence. For someone, it's like a traffic light, right? You don't see a traffic light come up until there's a car crash and somebody dies. It could be 30 times you almost saw an accident, screeching. It's not going to happen until somebody dies, and then we react. I mean, that's just the way of the world. I don't know what they would think. Like, did the mayor think something like this wouldn't happen when these protesters are carrying weapons, yelling in the face of police officers? Point that police officers like, all right, we're done. As they're yelling at these police officers, saying, hey, we should defund police departments. What did you think was going to happen? I mean, you have a mob of people who obviously are not working. I mean, it's been a month since George Floyd, right? Almost every site has opened back up. The biggest companies are bringing back employees. A lot of people have no intentions on going back. Keep extending those unemployment benefits after July 31st. Not that you don't want people protesting peacefully, but there's a lot of people, and probably good 5 to 7 to 10% around there, that have a total different agenda than what's going on. Trying to almost erase history, which is crazy because a lot of these people, these are not adults. These are kids that don't even understand our history of how we got here, of how they're living in the greatest country ever. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. You can leave, goodbye. If you hate it so much, leave. You should provide free transportation for anyone that wants to leave the country because it's going to cost a hell of a lot less than keeping them here and being on unemployment forever, living off everybody else, violence, get out of the country. You have that option. Go anywhere you want. Why do you choose to be here and complain about it? I mean, things like this just don't make sense. Maybe it makes sense to you. I don't know. It's crazy. But this mob of people going crazy, tearing down property, burning churches, which is ironic since our politicians are against you attending church because of coronavirus, but burning down a church, hey, no problem, man. You can do that. We're not going to say anything. Isn't it kind of amazing when you think about it? Our politicians on both sides refuse to say anything about this. So because these crazy people get the same vote as you and me, hardworking individuals that have families, respect the law. I'm not looting thousands of businesses, most which are in low-income neighborhoods. Irony in that too. Wealth inequality. Why are you destroying these businesses, people that work their whole lives? Doesn't matter. But I'm going to say something right now, probably going to offend people, because everyone gets offended these days, right? Everybody's offended. Everybody's so sensitive these days, but it needs to be said. Because we look back at history, we need to remember, peace is only achieved by using force or the threat of force. Many times that results in violence. That's the way it is. For example, Americans didn't achieve their independence by telling the British in the 1700s, hey guys, is it okay if we don't pay those huge taxes you just levied on us for the tea we drink, lead, gas, paper, to create additional revenue for royalty officials? And also tell English troops who were allowed to occupy in private homes, just storm into people's homes and live there without their permission. You really think we're just going to say, hey, you know what? Could you please not come in my house? Could you leave, please? You really think that's going to work? We had to fight for our independence. You have to fight for those freedoms. They don't come for free. Unfortunately, it has to come to things like that. Revolutionary War, everything. And we tell Hitler, hey, Mr. Hitler, could you stop taking over every Czechoslovakia, Austria, Poland, Denmark, Norway, France, so many other countries? And please, could you stop killing so many of the Jewish people? Because you know what? That's really not right. No fucking way. I mean, he needed to be stopped. It required a world war, violence, force. It was the only way to prevent Hitler from taking over the world. You can't be nice about things like this. And I love people who provide quotes, which I never understood. Like social media, right? It provides a way for everyone to have a voice. Why are you quoting somebody else for? It's your voice. Say what you need to say. Anyway, that's a personal thing, a pet peeve of mine. But one of those, Albert Einstein, someone I admire very much, where he says, peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. An absence of war based on force and military threat is not peace. The last time I checked, Einstein, pretty smart cookie, but he was a scientist. Devises theory of relativity, which revolutionized the world's understanding of space, gravity, time, universe, quantum theory. I mean, he's credited for inventing paper towels, laser pointers, early adopter of solar power. I mean, unbelievable history. But it's a little ironic that Einstein, the person who said peace cannot be kept by force, it can only be achieved by understanding, is also the same person that wrote a letter to Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1939 urging the U.S. to develop an atomic bomb before Nazi Germany did. Which the U.S. said, you know what, that's a pretty good idea, which we used to bomb the shit out of Hiroshima, Nagasaki, to retaliate for the bombing of Pearl Harbor, which killed over 250,000 people. It's safe to say, Japan never fucked with us again. That doesn't sound too peaceful to me. Again, I'm a huge fan of Einstein. If you're going to quote somebody, how about this quote? Every book has been rewritten. Every picture has been repainted. Every statue and street and building has been renamed. And every date has been altered. History is stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present in which the party is always right. George Orwell, 1984. Pretty interesting. My point here, I know it's a political year, and I'm bringing this up because it matters to your life. It matters about your financials. It matters. It does. This needs to be said. But we have our asshole politicians who don't give a shit about you and me. Racial injustice, wealth inequality, they don't care. They don't care. They're going to dress up and kneel and take pictures, whatever they need to do to get votes. So they're going to do anything to stop these people from destroying public property, murdering police officers, tearing down statues, looting businesses. Why? Because these votes, especially now, are critical for both parties to gain power. And that's all they care about. They're going to tell you everything you want to hear. They're going to support anything that a poll tells them is going to result in more votes. That's politics. You know, I don't care which side you're on. I don't care how far left, how far right. You know it's true. These people don't care about you. You go back and look at politicians and how many times they switch back and forth. It's all based on polls to get votes. That's why you're not seeing anything being done in the middle of our streets. I gotta tell you, these looters, people who are ripping down statues, these people need to get the shit kicked out of them for everyone to see. This way they know what's expected when you decide to take the law into your own hands. Beat them down. Let people take pictures of it. If that happens, you're not going to see people ripping down statues anymore. But what's going on with the world? I mean, how do we let this happen to where mobs control law-abiding citizens, can control our politicians, can take control of our streets and businesses without any repercussions? Hey, when did America become so soft? Hey, even when it comes to disciplining our kids, we're told you got to use timeout. You got to use a timeout. Go in the corner, use a timeout. And imagine your parents, right? I'm 48. Say you're 40. Imagine your parents putting you on timeout when you did something wrong as a kid. Or say, hey, you're going to be punished for 2 or 3 days. When I grew up in Queens, I wasn't the best kid. I got into a lot of trouble, hung out with the wrong crowd, did stupid things like steal cars for fun, always brought them back. But a ton of stupid things. My dad called me stealing a car back then. We would be like, son, you know what? You're not supposed to do that. That's not nice. And you know what? I'm going to punish you for a couple of days. If he said that to me 3 days later, I would have stolen another car, picked up my friends, and got some pizza if that was the punishment. Instead, I got a beating. And you know what? I deserved it. And I never stole a car again. That's the past. Long, long past. The bad kid. I don't regret anything I did because it builds a person you are, all the mistakes you made. I'm just proving a point here. Because how do we get so soft as a country where everyone is offended? Gays are offended. Blacks are offended. Puerto Ricans are offended. Women are offended. Actors, actresses. Everyone gets so offended now. They're so sensitive. I mean, I'm not offended, given that I'm a 40-year-old white man who works 15-hour plus days, trying to be the best dad in the world to my 2 beautiful daughters, support my family, run a business that I'm employing people. I'm helping investors make smart decisions so they can retire early, provide a better foundation for their families, and make a great living. And you know what? I'm the enemy of America right now. I'm the one that's privileged, need to pay more taxes, need to give more money away to people who refuse to work. And some of those people who lost their jobs, I get it. That's okay. Those are not the people I'm talking about. But I'm not privileged. I worked my ass off to get where I am today. There's not one American that can't do the same in our country. That's open to you right now. That motivation, go out and grab it. Where else could you do that? What other country can you do that in? We've gotten to the point where we just blame everyone else. Where if we have different beliefs than someone, that makes us total assholes, outcasts. Like if we don't bow down to the American flag, you're racist. And why did Drew Brees change his mind? It's okay to not kneel, since that flag means something different to everyone. And he has a military background. He said, I'm not going to kneel. I have a military background. I'm not going to do it. And got pressured to do it. You should have the choice to kneel or not. But there is no choice. It's either you kneel or you're a racist. I'm not saying whether you should or shouldn't. That's your choice, but it's your choice. And if you want to wear a mask to spread the coronavirus and you're older, you want to wear a mask, Don't yell at people who don't want to wear masks unless they're really doing irresponsible stuff and getting up in your face. That's different. But how have, as a nation, we've become so angry with someone that has a different opinion? If you like Trump or if you like Biden, we're being forced to pick or choose or hate each other, where our foundation of this country was built on discussion, listening to both sides and coming up with the best option. It's not like that no more. It's either this or that. There's no middle ground, which is incredible because that's how the major deals get done in the world. The deal doesn't go, hey, I got to pay $20 billion for your company. Okay, that sounds good. Deal done. No. All right, how about $17 billion? Okay, well, what if we do this? Okay, you're bringing over executives. Okay, we're going to, whatever. You know, it's a negotiation. Then you come up with the best solution that works for two parties or even more than two parties who are involved. It's not, this is what I want. No, forget it. I mean, now a bit of political world is both sides want an infrastructure package of $1 trillion to $2 trillion, around $1 trillion to $2. Both of them want it for 4 to 5 years now, and nothing has gotten done. Why? You both want it. We need it. Our bridges are falling down. Water pipes are old. We need to update our infrastructure. It's important. You see dams being broke. This happens. This is real. There's reports. Look at the things that I study, infrastructure reports. Which company's going to benefit? They're waiting. They know they need this. This is something that could result in a lot of people dying. You both want it. Why can't we get it done? Why? But you're looking at everything going on. I mean, I don't know why America has gotten so soft. And we should have simple laws in place. You destroy property, you get the crap kicked out of you. If you resist arrest, you go to jail. And if you try to grab an officer's weapon, you automatically get shot in the head. That should be a law. I mean, what is your intention if you're going to try to grab a police officer's weapon? What is the intention? Why would you do that? I have no idea why you would do that. What's the intention? To grab it and to kill somebody or shoot somebody. You're grabbing a policeman's weapon. I mean, I don't know what the expected outcome of what you think it's going to be. But if you do, you have to think you're going to die, right? But yet, we're rewarding people for resisting arrest, stealing a weapon off a cop's belt, then trying to shoot it at the cop, and the cop gets charged with murder for shooting that person who tried to stole his weapon and shot it at him. I mean, this isn't a black or white thing. This has nothing to do with racism. Anyone grabbing a cop's weapon should get shot in the head, period. That's it. That should be a law. Then nobody's going to grab a gun or try to grab whatever weapon that they have. But just to sit back and watch nobody do anything, and Democrats do nothing because they need the left vote, to see the president say, hey, you know what? Things are bad in Seattle. All you need to do is ask for my help. You're the president. Isn't it your job to keep the peace? And even if a governor's a complete asshole and loses total control of a city, which we're starting to see, to where innocent, hardworking people are scared to walk in their major cities at night. That's why we're having curfews. And these change reckoning, a reminder that there are laws that all of us need to abide by. You can't sit back and watch people desecrate private property and statues, no matter what side you're on. They change our history. You want to rewrite history from 30-year-olds that who knows if they read any book or anything? Maybe they're older. Maybe they do know a little bit more about history. But if they knew about history, why you tear down statues of people who did not support slavery for? But we have to have that reminder that we all need to abide by the law. That's how we have peace. That's why we have the greatest country on earth that gives anyone, of any race, color, gender, you could succeed in this country. You can. You're going to have to work at it. A million people are going to tell you no. Use it as motivation. But where else do you have that opportunity in another country? You let me know. Because I don't. We're losing it here. Things are not getting better. They're getting worse. And America's getting more angry and more angry. I mean, just every social media post, when I go on my social media profiles, it's just scrolling down. A homeless man getting set on fire, or, someone bashing Trump, someone bashing Pelosi. That's all it is. And it's all being fueled by people that have an agenda. They want you to pick and choose. They want you to hate because you're going to watch more TV. They're going to make more money on advertising. And the politicians want that because they're going to get power. They don't care about us. They don't. Come on. You know that. I don't have to tell you that. You really think our politicians care about individuals? No way. They care about polls. They care about getting elected. But don't fall into this trap. I mean, hating someone that has opposing view than you, you know what I'm talking about. You have, you're on Facebook and you're in a group and you see someone comment and whatever, just whatever side you're on, and they comment about the other side. It pisses you off to the point you really don't want to talk to them anymore because of the political views, because you're supporting someone that really doesn't care about you. Think about that. Because you talk to this person personally, go over their house. It's the nicest person in the world. They're cool. It's nice. It's fun. But you fall into this trap. The politicians and the media are winning. It's exactly what they want. That's how they gain power. We need to smarten up here because it's getting worse, not better. I mean, not being able to walk the streets in our own cities for fears of getting beat up or hurt. It's got to stop. We need to put our foot down. And this will result in the consequences of this, whether, financially, where it impacts all of us. All of us it impacts. It's important that this needs to be said. I don't give you poor, middle class, rich, impacting all businesses, the stock market, everything we do unless we take a stand. And we need to take a stand. And watching while all this shit takes place is not taking a stand. It promotes more violence that you're not getting in trouble for it. And it's getting worse as each day goes by. So hopefully we'll see some change.